I want to ask you again about the op-ed, the article you wrote for the New York Times, describing what it was like, in the deployment in 2014 in Gaza. You wrote, that some of your soldiers were feeling doubts at that time, and then you wrote your own thoughts on a piece of paper. And you wrote this: I wrote that some members of my team had been tallying the number of soldiers killed and discussing whether this operation was worth the losses. I think it could be worth it, I wrote, as long as we decisively eliminate the threat. That's the lie they told us, and the lie that's being repeated today, that we can decisively eliminate the threat of Hamas through a military operation. Bentzi, how did you come to the conclusion that you couldn't?
Well, one of the voices that I've listened to over the years and I've been convinced by is not just the voices of human rights activists, but also the voice of the former head of the Shin Bet, Ami Ayalon, who's the top counterterrorism expert and for 4.5 years in the country. And he said this openly. He said the only way to decisively defeat the terrorism that Hamas represents is through creating an alternative and creating hope. And that means working towards a political solution. And our current government has been fundamentally committed to opposing a political solution and to preventing the creation of a Palestinian state and preventing Palestinian independence. So therefore, that's why I realized that a military alone will not defeat Hamas. And that's why I think that our government needs to be changed immediately.